back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Josh and Alex.
And today we're here to discuss the summer blockbusters and the box office that they've generated. The big one, of course, being Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it crossed $1 billion a couple days ago. But I know Blake has the full list of all the movies that have come out up until this point and their current box office.
Yeah, so as everybody knows, last summer we had Barbenheimer, which was the big box office weekend. Also had, Mission Impossible. There was a Spider-Man, Spider-Verse movie to start the summer. So this summer has not been super productive until as of late, as we'll just start and go in order of to start summer. Early May was The Fall Guy, which I know both of you saw that in theater, didn't you?
Yep, I saw it. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
But as far as I remember, it didn't make that much.
No, this movie made 180 million. Of course, all these numbers and budgets are all just what you can find on the internet. Nobody knows if they're actually accurate, but it roughly made 180 million, and it had a budget of 90 million.
That's crazy.
By the time you add in marketing, maybe it made 50 million. Maybe.
Which is surprising because, had a good, strong marketing campaign. Maybe showing too much, but ended up not showing too much.
Doing way too much.
Yeah, I don't know why that one flopped so hard.
Yeah, I mean, you had two main actors in it, obviously, with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, where you'd think you'd do better, but maybe the Ryan Gosling fatigue is hitting. Number 2 for May, we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That one came out with a $400 million box office, which I was kind of surprised how low that is. I kind of felt that movie did better.
Yeah, I thought that at least crossed like 6 million or 600 million. Sorry, but
I think it just felt like it was more because it was such a slump going into the summer.
That is true because it did make money. Its budget was around 160 million, as obviously this is going to have a heavy budget, being heavily reliant on CGI and making all the apes. But it definitely made money. Definitely not nearly as much as I would have thought, because I definitely thought it surpassed at least half a bill. So
yeah, you would think so. Is it like the lowest of the franchise, or?
I think I saw somewhere it was the second lowest of the franchise, I think it said.
I assume then Rise is probably still at the bottom then.
I
think Dawn and War did pretty good.
Yeah, I would imagine they did. And then If Imaginary Friends, John Krasinski movie, which I was kind of surprised about, it made almost 200 million in the box office.
It was way more than I expected it to make.
Exactly. Agreed. I did not think it made that much.
Flip flop of Fall Guy and If, like those box office numbers. I feel like that would have made a little more sense in my head.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So it made more than Fall Guy, and it had a budget of 110 million reportedly. So still, by the time you added marketing, wasn't a crazy big success, but it definitely at least made money, which is I figure it made
budget
money
for the movie.
Yeah, it had a lot of CGI with all the imaginary friend characters, obviously. So I imagine that's where a lot of the budget went, because actors-wise, maybe it went to some of the voice acting, because some of the main characters in that movie were voiced by big names, but big roles, Ryan Reynolds had a big role in it. Other than that, the girl actress isn't one that I've seen before, so I'd imagine she wasn't getting paid a whole lot for it. So yeah, I was kind of surprised the budget was that much, but I guess that's how much it just went to animation. 'Cause, it did look good. At no point in that movie was I like, oh, that character looks horrible. So it was worth it. Here's a movie that kind of surprised me. Furiosa, the last movie of May. This one came out Memorial Day weekend, which is, I would say, probably one of the biggest in all of summer. I'd say Memorial Day and maybe 4th of July are probably like the two big weekends.
Yep.
So for having the big summer May weekend, 175 million was its estimated box office.
Yeah, it is generational almost. Fucking choke.
Yeah, and what's even rougher is its budget was estimated to be around 170 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do
So this
not know
movie
So
why
like,
it
did not
struggled
make
so
money, most
much.
likely. By the time you add in marketing, I don't think this movie made money.
Nope.
It's crazy. I mean, we all three saw it.
Yeah.
mhm.
I think it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I don't know how it doesn't make easily more than 250. That just doesn't. Because I feel like there's at least hype to see the movie, to give it a try.
Right,
And
that's what I
overall, the reviews, people are saying that they loved it. I felt like we were in the minority of being like kind of saying it was more iffy on the side, you know.
Did people love it?
I felt like they did. I
I
thought it
mean, what's
was.
like the current like consensus on it?
I don't know.
Well, it might be hyperbolic, but it was more definitely liked. So to say that it doesn't get more than 200 mil,
Yeah, that's.
I mean, it
that's
has a
crazy.
90% on Rotten Tomatoes and then audience score of 89. So it's like
That's
high
crazy.
80s.
so for a flop to happen with that, and especially in a fan base that was begging for another film, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so that means in May, most months I did 4. I did like the top 4 kind of like well-known movies for the most
Yeah.
part. So all of May, King of the Planet of the Apes was the only movie to cross 200 million for its box office.
Yeah.
That's a
So-
yikes for me. So
Yeah,
really,
there was-
what we're saying is, without a Marvel movie in May, May kind of blows.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Basically, that's what it seems like. Then we get to June. June was a rough month. I only have 3 movies for this one. But to start, we have Bad Boys Ride or Die, which came out pretty early into June. And this movie, surprisingly, had almost 400 million in the box office.
Holy shit.
I remember the fact that they sold a shit ton somehow.
Yeah. Which it had a budget of
So it still
roughly
generates
100
that money.
million. So this movie definitely made money, and it made quite a bit of money. And if you ask me, honestly, it kind of deserved to, because between that and the 4 that came before it, this definitely was better than any movie that came out in May, in my eyes.
Wow.
I enjoyed this movie
It was
a
a
lot.
fun movie.
Yeah.
Because me and Blake watched it, and so that was his second time watching it or third time watching it.
Second, yeah, no, twice.
Second
I saw it.
Okay, yeah. It was definitely well directed, and
Yeah.
I found it even more interesting that the directors that directed this directed the one prior, and they were the ones that directed that Batgirl movie that was scrapped because apparently it was unwatchable. And I'm like,
They did that.
yeah.
I
Those are the
did not know
director duo that directed that Batgirl, and that they're wanting to put that out. And since James Gunn and Peter Safran took
Shoot.
over for WB and DC, they just scrapped it.
That's
It's
kind of
nuts
crazy.
considering- Yeah,
Yeah, that movie
Yeah.
could have had potential to have some nuts action scenes then if they were doing that, because some of the stuff they did in Bad Boys I thought was really cool. So for a Batgirl movie, yeah, that's kind of, I did not know that. That's kind of nuts.
hmm
Wow. But number 2, we have what I believe was the first $1 billion movie of 2024, of Inside Out 2, which
Yeah.
crossed estimated 1.5 billion box office, I believe I found, off of a $200 million budget, which I do not know how it could even be that high. That's insane budget to me. But obviously it's still all animated and voice actors, but still 200 mil is crazy work. But yeah, 1.5 billion is its estimated box office run.
I think it's still in theaters right now, so it's only gonna
Yeah, I
get
think it
higher.
is.
So yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it. I watched the original. I knew that one made a shit ton of money. Pixar, for some reason, they cracked the code to breaking $1 billion every single time. It seems like, or close
They
to
cracked the
it,
code
so-
breaking $1 billion on the second one, which will always be forgotten by the first one. So it's like,
Oh, relax. It was a really good movie.
it was solid, but I stand on the fact I think the first one was much better.
I haven't watched the first one in forever. But yeah, no, I mean, this was one I definitely enjoyed it. It's kind of I think it's deserved to make money, and so far, both June movies have made money, and that stays with the last June month. movie of June, Quiet Place Day One, which made $260 million. It was estimated off of a roughly $70 million budget. So all three of the movies in June made money. So that's kind of where the box office started to do good after May was a big flop for the box office.
Which is weird.
Damn.
It's weird.
I know. Usually it's like at the end of April, beginning of May is when like shit starts to really ramp up, and yeah, you can tell without like that Marvel movie in late April or early May, it's rough until June, July.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. Quiet Place, that's almost 200-ish. I mean, by the time you had marketing less than it, but it's close to 200-ish, a little under, probably we'll say 170 million that Quiet Place Day One made.
All of them were low budget films that made money.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. And then we get to July, which had some big movies making money. Some of these I didn't look up the budget for just because I was like, I don't really know. Some of the numbers I was getting were just so different. So we'll go with Despicable Me 4 was the first one. That was the 4th of July weekend. And that one is roughly at $808 million for box office. And I got roughly 130 for the budget.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is just me, but like in recent years, animated films, especially like those big, massive sequel animated films, they're just getting fucking bags and bags of cash every single time they make one.
Yeah, they are.
Kids just force their parents out to go watch them, I guess.
I think
honestly,
the more thing is the fact that it's not a film that you have to force the parents to go see. You know,
Right.
That's what I was going to say.
There are.
I was going to say,
some that,
honestly, they're starting to make some that people who like I've seen all these movies, and obviously I'm going, without a kid or a little cousin or a little sibling or anything. Like Inside Out 2, I was like, I'm just interested to see that. Despicable Me was more of kind of a meme one that I was like, I guess I'll go see this one. But like Inside Out 2 was one that I was genuinely like, I'm just going to go see it because I'm interested to see it as a 24-year-old.
Yeah, but that's Pixar. Pixar knows how to get to your heartstrings,
I mean, that is very true too. But I mean,
Plus,
they know that. Era. Plus Disney, Plus Disney knows that they put out movies for the most part. People are still gonna see them, anyways. Then we had a rough one where I could not figure out a budget for. Horizons, an American Saga. This was Kevin Costner's. Kevin Costner's. It made $30 million in the box office, and I was getting reports it was close to $80 million, but I also saw some that said $150 million for the budget. So I was like, it was just such a wide range. I don't really know what to say for the budget. I can safely say it lost money though. That's all that I know for sure.
That's the guarantee. Yeah, I think the 150 was more reports on how much money he was reportedly putting in trying to do both of the movies.
Yeah, I saw some stuff. That's why I think
insane.
It was tough. Yeah.
Insane. Just classic Hollywood actor delusion to just think like, who the fuck do you think you are to try to do that?
Put his own land and stuff as collateral. That's why I think this one was tough to get a budget number on because it was there. A lot of them were trying to get for two because he shot them
a career ender,
back.
Right there.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
So,
just awful marketing. No, and also what I think. I feel like I got to represent some of the community of thinking it was connected to his show that he's been on, and then the fact that it's not at all, and it's just a totally different Western style type of movie. Yeah, is just an absolute understandably why it bombed. Because now you have, I think the only people that would have been interested in that film is the people watching the show. And I know that show has a bunch of drama too. So
Yellowstone is the show he's talking about.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It is fucked up.
Yeah. I think it is already out, to be honest with you. I believe it came out. I think it was only like I think it was like a month gap. I'm fairly certain that it
did it? Are we sure it actually came out? I thought, or maybe it was a fake report that they just straight up stopped it from coming out.
Oh, maybe they did. For
'Cause-
some reason, I thought it came out because I thought I remember seeing the like trailers for it, and it said like the second one came out, and it was like a month later.
That's a bold strategy there.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm not seeing anything right now.
Maybe it did get shut out.
Chapter 2, I thought.
Understandable. We'll
Yeah,
move on.
it didn't come
Oh,
out.
didn't it? That's unfortunate because man, it was a cliffhanger that part one ended on. Zero idea how it ends. I know nothing about that movie. I saw one TikTok about somebody talking about it and saying how bad it was.
It says now initially it's going to try to come out in November. So maybe it got delayed because it was supposed to come out, it says August 16th.
So this weekend.
Yeah.
Bro, that was my plans this weekend. What the hell?
I know.
We're cooked.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll talk about that in the future. If
There's no shot that comes out in November. There's no shot. Then we'll go to the real summer blockbuster movie, Twisters. Obviously, this was the real summer movie, as it made almost $500 million off of a reported $150 million budget. So far for July, that is 2 for 2 on movies making, and then no surprise, American Saga did not, but we don't count that as a movie. So that's another one where the box office was starting to cook again.
I think that movie still has a chance to make a bunch more because I saw it super late. I only saw it about maybe 2 weeks ago, if that, and my theater was packed.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I definitely think
they're
it's
still doing
definitely
showings.
still going. Yeah, it's definitely still climbing for those numbers. But I mean, that's already it's made very, very well.
Understandable. It
Yeah, it is.
earned it.
Put Glenn Powell in a movie. What do you expect? Bangers on bangers. Take notes, Marvel. Maybe he should be Doctor Doom. You know, I don't know. Literally
Just
anybody else.
that crimson smile. Just pop out.
And then speaking of Marvel, obviously Deadpool and Wolverine. This is clearly still in the box. It's still doing numbers, I'm sure. I don't know what it's doing, but as of this, it says it's roughly getting close to 1.1 billion. It has surpassed $1 billion for sure, making it, I think, the second rated R movie to cross $1 billion. I believe
Still has
I think
not
only
officially
Joker.
passed Joker.
But I expect it will because this seems to still be doing very strong in theaters right now.
Yeah,
Easily
I
will.
went
Easily.
again for the second time this past Saturday, and half the theater was full. Still,
Yeah, I saw it a second time in theaters on a Saturday, and it was pretty busy as well.
I was like, okay,
We've all gone twice,
Mhm.
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
did
good
that
this
for
movie
Joker
is.
as well, though.
yeah.
Did you really?
I went twice.
Oh, that's right. You did. I do remember you saying you went again after.
Yeah, I saw it normal the first time, and then I saw it in 3D on the big screen for the second time, just because I felt like it.
I saw both in IMAX, and technically the same theater, which is weird.
Interesting. And honestly, I would not be surprised if I end up seeing this one more time before it leaves. This movie is very enjoyable. This was another one I was struggling to find a budget. I got around 200 million, so I guess that's just the one I'm gonna say. I mean, obviously, it made money. It surpassed $1 billion, so clearly it made money. But I'm just gonna
Huge
say
profit.
roughly 200.
And I think it's the most successful of the 3 Deadpool films,
Yeah,
which all
yeah.
were successful in their own right. But yeah, this one.
The first two, I think,
positive.
each were in 800 million territory. I think the first one was a little under 800, and the second was like 850. I want to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hopefully, it keeps going. It deserves. I think it deserves to be the number 1 rated R movie for box office numbers because I think it's phenomenal. But so that was basically the end of it. Obviously, August is a bit of a the end of summer. I guess you could say a lot of kids are going back to school, that kind of thing. So. Really, the only ones I could think of were Trapped and Borderlands that have came out already.
Heard some things about Borderlands.
Yeah, so obviously American Saga was supposed to be really the one to end summer. That was, the second one was supposed to really kick us off. So it's unfortunate that didn't happen. I don't know anything. Oh, Alien Romulus also comes out at some point this month, I believe.
It comes out this weekend. Yep.
I heard good things about that one.
It was going to try to compete with American Saga Part 2.
It was, and it was going to win.
It got lucky that American Saga got pushed back because who would have watched Alien? Other than that, I don't know anything else for August. So I looked at Borderlands just because got to do it. It has only been out for its opening weekend as of the time we're recording this, and it had a roughly $10 million opening weekend, is what I have found, off of a budget of roughly $120 million allegedly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it is safe to say this movie is not going to even get close to its budget, as all the reviews are very negative, as so nobody's going to go see it. I, of course, did go see it because I will support Cate Blanchett, and I want to say, Kate, you're coming off of Tar, where you were an Oscar-nominated actress. I hope they gave you half of that budget to perform in this movie, because this movie was horrible. So I hope she got the bag.
Actually?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw it. I did see it.
Wow.
Not good. I also saw Trap, which I did not care to look into. No idea what it's done at box office. No idea what its budget is.
Bold.
But I will say, M. Night literally, I think, did it just because his daughter is like the main concert that they go to is his daughter. I think he just did this to help her music career, because that movie was also rough. So I would not be surprised if it makes money, though, because I would imagine its budget was not super crazy.
I'm surprised you saw it because of him.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
And I told him at the last shot of the trailer, we both looked at each other. I'm like, it's M. Night. It's gonna suck. He's like, no.
Agreed.
Half the movie's.
I was interested, though.
The second half
Yep.
was
Yeah, he's pumping movies out, man.
Here's the thing, though. I'm actually intrigued. I liked the second half of this movie more than I liked the first half of the movie, which with M. Night is not usually the case. Him and Jordan Peele have a lot in common, where it's usually pretty good for half or 3/4 of the movie, and then the ends, they just completely fall apart. And this was actually one where I think I enjoyed the second half of this movie more than the first half. That being said, was it phenomenal? No. Was there some parts where I think they used extras to actually deliver like lines in the movie, which I thought was wild because some of the acting was so unbelievably bad. There's also some camera work shots that people were talking about. Oh, it was so like jarring because they literally put the camera like this and they were acting like this, staring at the camera, talking to it, acting as if it's the person. So it's like, yeah, we're going to find that a little weird because we're so used to movies being training actors not to do that. So it's like, yeah, it was a little unsettling, but it's like, was it the great writing and stuff that made it unsettling, or is it just because it's something we're not used to? It's the second part of that. It was not anything magnificent. That being said, some shots did look kind of cool. But we're just going to say that movie probably not phenomenal box office, but I think it might get close to making its money back because I don't think it had a huge budget. So, basically what I'm saying, May, big flop for the box office and movies making money. June and July, for the most part, movies had pretty successful time.
Buried.
And August has been a rough start. I don't know if you guys are you big Alien fans of that franchise?
I haven't given any of them a try, but I think there's enough effort, it seems, in this one that I think I should at least give them a shot.
I have seen like the cheesy Alien versus Predator movies, which aren't that good, but you know, it's kind of a crime that I haven't watched the good ones yet. But no, for sure, the new one looks really good, and I've heard good things about it. So I may give it a shot if I find time.
I agree. I think the marketing of it has been pretty cool. I feel like some of the trailers I have seen for it have done some cool things, and the posters have been, I think, some of the top-notch movie posters. They've been killing it on that front. That I think there's a chance I give this one a shot. As I'm in the same boat. I watched some of those Alien vs Predator movies when I was younger, just because Alien vs Predator. Like, I'll watch it, but don't think I've ever watched a solo Alien movie before.
Well, did you see like the red carpet for it, where they're paying like actors like lay on the ground with stuff on their faces while they're just pretending to be dead?
No.
I've seen clips of that. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that it seems like there's some little love being shown towards this film.
I think they've been definitely marketing wise. This is one where I bet they have a pretty heavy marketing budget, and I think it actually is paying off in the terms of some stuff has been cool and is going to make me go as somebody who's not interested in that franchise. I think there's a good chance I give this one a shot. So that's going to do it for this video. That's kind of been the summer blockbuster kind of box office movie numbers. Like we said, started rough, then got solid, and as summer is coming to an end, it is going out on a not great note. But that's just the way movies go. Marvel, one movie
Yeah.
this year, one banger this year, $1 billion movie this year. Kind of crazy. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.